Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Dark and Stormy Nights. We have a planning episode for you this week, and I think we have a decent shell to work with. So let's see where this goes. But so when last we left off, our antagonist, Annalise, had unleashed 3 powerful witches who had long been dead, and she unleashed them on the world, thinking that she was going to control them naively.
Thinking that the Bodak could at least control them.
Or something, right.
Right.
And even if that failed, she thinking that her having tried to save them
that they would be loyal to her.
Right, which failed, right? So,
right.
So none of that seemed to work, and they took off into the night, doing God knows what, causing these faint glows in the distance, which I think is them locating their kin and other witches, right?
Right.
Now, witches aren't as powerful as they were back in the day because of what the witch trials did to the community, devastating it. So I think these witches had to formulate a plan, and I think they did a decent job. And of course, we still have the riots going on where Fae want liberation from an unjust combine, right?
Right.
So
where they're starting to see that their people have been wronged and
right.
they want justice.
Right. So here we are today.
Or at minimum answers.
So we think these witches might try to take advantage of the situation, right? They might try to cause these distractions using the protests and riots to call the Combine to task, to
Right. So basically what we're thinking for this chapter is that it's going to start off in the Huntsman. You know, bounty hunters coming and going as always. Nigel is there getting frustrated between the protesters who are just, you know, they're mostly young adults or teens, and they're pulling pranks, right? And the pranks aren't necessarily dangerous, but they are distracting and they are annoying. So he's dealing with, you know, glitter bombs and graffiti and, you know, stink bombs and things like that. You know, pranks that are basically giving him one more thing to deal with while he's trying to deal with the attack on the Combine. And so there's that, and then also, like, as he's dealing with that, things are starting to happen around the city. Lee and Elliot will be there within the Huntsman doing research on the Bodak, because back to the case that they have been, you know, they're supposed to be trying to get a paycheck on. They need to find this Bodak that has risen the Fey children, the changelings, has risen the wife of the sorcerer. He needs to find this creature, and he needs to end it so that he can collect his bounty.
right.
So really, Lee is like, I'm fucking done with this case. I just want to do my research. I want to find this thing. I want my money, you know. And he's really at the end of the line here. And then things start happening in the city, and Nigel is trying to deal with the fact that, you know, these distractions are going to get them exposed.
Right.
Now, humans tend to make a lot of excuses, but at some point they're going to start connecting dots. So he's sending out bounty hunters to deal with things like giant rats, different kinds of pranks, like magic pranks, you know, maybe a werewolf walking around in full fur, like those kinds of things. So basically he's playing damage control,
right,
and sending out bounty hunters to deal with all these different things that are happening around the city. And when he tries to send Lee basically tells him to fuck off.
right. So, Lee, I need you to go deal with this fog of spectral moaning faces.
Yes, exactly.
No, Nigel, I will not be dealing with that. I have got this to deal with.
Right, I'm on a case.
Paperwork all sprawled out in front of him, ancient texts and scrolls and stuff like that.
Right, which maybe Nigel helped him with some of the books and stuff that he's got.
Sure.
Because obviously Nigel's priority was supposed to be the Bodak as well. Except now all hell is breaking loose with stupid little pranks all over the city, and Lee is just not interested in helping with that.
Right. Yeah, so I don't think he's even be hard-pressed to get Lee to do it. I don't think Lee will do it at all. It's a blatant refusal. Go send Rick. In fact, maybe even Lee starts being the one who's assigning other people to this, right? So Lee's like
every time a bounty hunter walks
put
by,
Rick on that one.
Yeah, he can go deal with that.
Yeah. All right, Lee. Now we got this one to deal with. All right, Sheena. Sheena can do it. Yeah, she's fine with it. You know.
So yeah, like basically they send everybody out, and like at some point they're like, wow, there's basically nobody left, you know.
Well, they've already been decimated too. That's the thing.
Right. There's not a ton of bounty hunters left.
They were
to start
running
with.
thin to begin with. And as one bounty hunter frees up, I think a situation, another situation arises, right? And so it's, you know, Rick's running from this one to that one, and Sheena's running from that one to this one, and you know.
Right.
Maybe they're even
He's
calling
trying
for
to,
backup
like,
from out of town.
Play conductor and direct them in all different directions.
Right.
And as soon as they deal with, like, you know, I don't even know what, like, ridiculous pranks in one place, like we mentioned, maybe a city full of chickens or something, you know, in one place, then, you know, as soon as they've handled that, they're running to another place.
A chicken plague.
Yeah, a plague of chickens. I don't know. Or like those giant chickens. Have you seen those giant chickens? They're like
human size?
Well, they're not human size, but it's creepy. Anyway, I wouldn't fuck with
like
one. I'll tell you that much.
Cockatrice.
Anyway, but like, yeah, like they go and deal with like something that's really not like a huge deal, but they're like, it's taking up time and it's taking up bounty hunters.
Sure. Yeah,
resources.
and yeah, maybe these
Which
guys
is probably
aren't
exactly why Lee is like, yeah, I'm not dealing with that.
right. Nobody's in real danger, but what is in danger is the
Exposure.
Exposure, right? So they have to, you know, deal. But how are they even dealing with these things, right? I mean, what are they even going to do?
Well, we talked about by the time the bounty hunter shows up, the protesters are scattering or disappearing or whatever. So there's nobody to catch, and then they're just cleaning up the magical mess.
Right. So how do you even do that, right? I mean, is there some kind of, you know, because we've never actually laid out anything. We don't have a purple goo like Warehouse 13.
The problem is that a lot of these bounty hunters are humans.
Right. They don't have power.
But they do have potions. They do have, like, tools, you know, that they can purchase. Now,
yeah, but should they have to purchase this, really? Like...
Yeah. Bounty hunters have to purchase their own guns and stuff.
I get that. But the Combine needs this mess cleaned up. So either the Combine's going to...
But if the bounty hunter wants to get paid by the Combine...
So it's got to come out to more than it costs to clean it up, right? So either the bounty hunter's getting paid exceptionally well for this, to clean it up, or the Combine's going to have to give them something to deal with it. You know what I'm saying?
Maybe, but there would have to be some sort of, like, magic neutralization or something.
Otherwise, I'm saying, no, I'm not doing this.
Well, then that's exactly what Lee is doing. Yeah, no, I'm not dealing with that.
This ain't worth it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, some of these other good little soldiers might be willing to toe the line, but the truth of the matter is, financially, I'm not sure it's worth it to clean up this mess, you know?
Right.
Because what is it to these guys if the Combine... I mean, okay, maybe you're out of job if the Combine gets exposed, but, you know...
Yeah.
Was it that great a job to begin with?
I mean, it pays the bills. I imagine they wouldn't want to lose their job, but... I mean, it is their job to make sure the magic isn't exposed.
So, yeah, maybe you'll have to come up with some kind of magic neutralizer or something like that. Just remember, purple goo is taken.
Okay, so is rain. Oh, no, that's a memory thing.
Yeah, and that was cheesy. Come on. That was the Men in Black light wand in rain form. Come on.
If there is anything that we have learned in recent years is that you can convince humans pretty easily that what they think that they know is not what they know. So, you know?
Yeah, well, realistically, we
lie enough,
sure,
and they'll just start
you
buying
put a
your
fake
lies.
put a fake news team out there that says, this crazy event was brought to you by...
That's actually not a bad idea.
And they're just going to believe it.
It's a couple of bounty hunters with news gear.
Right. And then the humans are all convinced it was some kind of, like, publicity stunt or something like that.
Publicity stunt or
so,
actors.
Yeah. So we just missed David Copperfield. He was just here a minute ago. Where did he disappear to?
This little stunt was put on by Comic-Con.
Right.
Yeah, so I mean, basically...
Oh, that'd be funny, a superhero battle in the middle of the street. There's no superheroes, it's all.
Right. Yeah, so basically, that's the distraction.
Right. So, do you think you have enough, like, possible distractions?
No, I don't. I'll be
do you need to brainstorm
racking
a few?
my brain here, but we'll figure it out.
Okay.
unless you have ideas.
I don't know. Like
I feel like I can't actually release a Stay Puft Marshmallow Man without a licensing issue.
Well, like I said, like some kind of mysterious fog that happens to look like faces. You know.
Yeah.
Like
zombies, zombie apocalypse.
Right. Well, yeah, but see now, like you're saying, it's innocent, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like it would be zombies doing the Thriller dance down the street. You know what I'm saying? They're not.
That's awesome.
You know.
I was just thinking they'd be calling out for brains and walking right past people.
Yeah. This. What do you want? This community votes red. You know.
Ouch. Anyway. So yeah, like I mean, just silly stuff like that. I don't know that I have a ton of ideas, but yeah, zombies doing the Thriller dance would be pretty freaking funny.
Right. Pirate battle in the street. Who knows? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking like blowing rats up to where they were the size of dogs.
Right.
Would induce panic. In Cleveland, we do every once in a while get those ships on the lake.
The tall ships.
Yeah, so we could really have like pirate ghosts take one.
Yeah, they're
and
like
ride it out into the lake.
There's pirate ghosts emerging out of the fog coming towards the shoreline.
Like, oh my god, like the Lord of the Rings movie.
Yeah, there's a bunch of cool shit you could do. You know, it's just unleash chaos all over the city, but you want it in different areas, right? It's all over the place. It's all the way around the Huntsman. So, but like a good little drive away in every direction. So
enough to get the bounty hunters out of the Huntsman and away.
Right. So yeah, you need them far away so that the next part of the plan can come together.
Okay. So pirate ghosts. Maybe giant rats. What else did we say? A superhero fight?
Maybe, yeah. A fog of faces, zombies doing the Thriller dance.
I mean...
An insect plague.
Ooh. We actually do get those here, too.
Yeah, we do.
The Put-in-Bay... What are they called?
The
Midges or
Canadian
something?
soldiers.
Ugh.
Yeah, and then we get the June bugs that like to try and fly into people's ears.
Ew. I don't think I've ever seen those.
Yeah, they're these orange beetles, but they're like dumb as shit.
Really?
Yeah.
No, I went to Kelly's Island, I think, exactly once. And it, of course, was when those things were, like, migrating or whatever it is.
Oh, it's every year. Yeah.
They cover everything.
No, yeah.
It's so gross.
I went to Put-in-Bay a couple of times, and every time it's coated
like, you can't even see what color the awnings are because they,
The Canadian soldiers are such a problem that they actually show up on weather radar. That's how,
Do they?
yeah, that's how big a swarm they get to be.
Gross.
Yeah. And they're the most pointless insect.
Do most insects have a point?
Yeah, some of them fertilize flowers or break down decaying matter and stuff like that. So there are things that like that. You know, they eat the bacteria and stuff, or the algae blooms and stuff like. There's a bunch of shit that insects do, and I don't think Canadian soldiers do any of that. I think they're just basically annoying and they fuck a lot.
Ew.
So.
Okay, so I mean, there's some ideas. And then now for the reason for all the distractions.
So once all of the hunters are away and kept busy, and we just demonstrate that as soon as one problem's cleared up, right, another problem arises, and these hunters are just chasing their tails all night.
Right.
And then from out of the woods around the Huntsman and what have you.
So basically, yeah, Lee's going to be a stubborn pain in the ass throughout the whole thing. And every time Nigel tries to send him out, Lee, you're all I've got left. And he's like, well, you know, so-and-so should be done by now, send them.
Right.
And he's just going to refuse to go. And it's going to end up biting him in the ass. Because once everybody is out and dealing with everything going around the city, out of the trees surrounding the Huntsman, the witches are going to appear.
Well, and okay, how do you feel about Elliot? Maybe Elliot and Rowan are there, right? And maybe they're just like sitting on the roof or something like that, or I don't know. They're somewhere, you know. Just
I was kind of feeling like Lee and Elliot were working together.
Oh, are they? Okay.
Well, I mean, we kind of have a little bit of a rift to clear up there, and I figure there's no better way to do that than working together.
Force
on a
them to
case.
research together. Okay.
Maybe. I mean, if it's better for the story to have him with, well, he can't be on the roof.
Yeah, no, we can't because we reveal once
There is no roof.
once the huntsman is exposed.
Right.
Well, that's fine. I mean, maybe she's there half-assedly helping them or something like that. I don't know.
Could be.
Or not. It doesn't matter. But, yeah, I was just thinking, so he saw them coming. You know, somebody saw the witches coming out of the...
Well, like I said, Nigel still has that TV sitting on his counter.
True.
So, do we want to go straight through, or do you want to take a
Sure.
break?
No, it doesn't matter. It's up to you.
Okay.
Do you need a break?
No, I'm fine.
Okay.
So, like, Nigel has that TV that can see all these different things, and I was kind of figuring that's how he's seeing all these other things that are happening, right?
Sure.
And so now, once all of his bounty hunters are out and away, and too far away to get back quickly, now he sees the witches closing in around the huntsman.
Right.
And so these witches are going to come out chanting or doing their spells or whatever it is. And the first thing that I think is going to happen is a barrier. So that no matter what bounty hunters are trying to come back, they can't get in.
Right.
And then from there, we expose the huntsman for what it truly is.
Well, so if the barrier is, like, say, a half mile across, so a quarter mile in each direction from the huntsman, that should make it about a half mile high. You know what I'm saying? Or a quarter mile high, which would be more than enough to encompass a large tower of some sort, don't you think?
Mm-hmm.
So maybe if we make it like a half mile all the way across, quarter mile high.
So basically what they're going to do is rip the illusions off the huntsman.
Yeah, they're going to dissolve them, yeah.
And so the huntsman is going to be exposed for not the shitty 2-story motel with cockroaches that it appeared to be.
Right.
But in fact,
A palatial tower.
Right. A tower, a sorcerer's tower, that's actually quite impressive inside. And I think that Lee might be wondering why the fuck he has such a shitty room in this tower.
Why are there cockroaches in my room? This place is so nice. They're illusions, Lee. They're not even real.
I think Lee knows that they're illusions, but like his lumpy mattress and this like marble foyer,
Right. You're not supposed to like it here.
So yeah, basically it's exposed as this like very high-end, very luxurious tower, and he just got the ass end of the stick here,
right?
In his little crappy motel room. And the issue here is, of course, that the sorcerer's tower has been exposed.
Right.
Not the fact that, they just ripped off an illusion and, it's a taller building. It's the fact that the sorcerer's headquarters has been exposed.
And why here? Well, it's probably a ley line or something like that. You know
That's
what ley
what
lines
I'm saying.
are?
Like, there's probably, like,
some kind of
a
power
tear in
convergence. Reality
where they can pass through where they
Right.
are.
It's all built here just because for convenience.
Right. So yeah, I mean, there's just probably something within this building that allows them to pass through reality to another plane or another side.
It's probably not the only one. There's several around the world or something like
Sure.
that, But it's wherever there's one of these tears.
Is the sorcerer's tower?
Yeah, so they protect these tears in reality.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Okay. So the witches appear, and then they rip off the illusion. What next?
Demands?
I was thinking that the resurrected witches appear at the forefront. The sorcerers are going to have to gather, I think. Once the illusion is ripped off, they're kind of like, oh shit.
Okay, so what if...
Maybe all of the protesters who were out causing the distractions that drew out the bounty hunters, maybe they're emerging with the witches to see,
Yeah.
Every time they disappeared from the bounty hunters, then they showed back up at the huntsman.
Right.
To witness.
Well, yeah, I think there might be some that are out there. They're the ones keeping the hunters chasing their tails or whatever. So you have a group up here that was already inside the perimeter, like they were waiting in the woods for their chance to come out. And so then the barrier goes up, and slowly...
Once the barrier is up, the bounty hunters can't get back in anyway.
But slowly, the bounty hunters are showing up at the border or whatever like that, and then you have the protesters that were out there with them showing up, stopping anything from happening. But maybe like the sorcerers are now trying to fight back against the protesters and the witches in the barrier or whatever, and that's when the resurrected witches come back to defend them, to protect them from anything the sorcerers have to throw at them.
Yeah, so I think first and foremost, Lee is going to be like, yeah, what the fuck just happened? And then Nigel sounding the alarms, basically.
Right.
Not that the sorcerers wouldn't be aware that their magic was ripped off the huntsman. But the sorcerers are going to convene.
Right.
They're going to show up and try to deal with the mess that was made. And I think that, what do you think? They walk outside to deal with putting the illusion back on or deal with the witches?
Yeah, well, like I said...
And that's when those 3 resurrected
right,
witches appear?
I think they go to try and put the witches that are there in their place.
Put them down.
And the resurrected witches appear, like they materialize out of the air or something like that,
right,
to stop it.
And then they tell them that you've been exposed. We no longer answer to you.
Right. Yeah, it is your time to be put on trial.
Right. And then maybe some kind of, for too long you've lorded over us, with no right, and expect,
right,
a rebellion. It doesn't have to be much more than a warning, I think. But truly, do you remember how we were talking about when the last witch died and she sent out the echo, her ghost? We talked about when I did the chapter with the asylum wife.
Oh, yeah.
How we were going to add in she died and the echo of her memories was sent to everybody in the area. We could do the same thing with these witches.
True.
So that everybody in the area sees that the sorcerers were responsible for the witch trials. That would be a beginning of a huge rebellion.
Sure. Well, especially if they know that the Fae were wrapped up into it, because these are the descendants of the Fae and the...
Right, yeah. I mean, it would offend everybody. So, I mean, truly, that's something that we could repeat and do another,
Sure.
The witches basically wait until their kin are safe and leave, and then they disappear with a flash of light that spreads that echo through everybody in the area. Or they would probably do that while the protesters were still there.
Mm-hmm.
But it'll incapacitate people long enough for them to get out of there. Because they'd be overwhelmed with the memories.
For who to get out?
The witches.
Oh.
I don't know. I mean, it's a thought. We don't
Maybe
have
a
to
couple
go
of
that route.
sorcerers there were some of the ones responsible. Like the one who pretended to be the little girl to get one of them, tried and killed.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty huge. That dude's going to have to go down if we play that game.
Yeah, that's messed up.
Yeah.
So. Little Bethany.
Yeah.
So, I like it. You think you can work with it?
I think I can. I mean, do we leave it there with the witch's warning and then the echo and then that's it? And the chapter there?
Yeah, sure. I mean, we got plenty of other stuff we got to work with after that, so, I think a lot of it's going to be taken up with the various distractions. It's going to be first full half to 2/3, of that chapter is, the cat and mouse game.
And piecing together a way to try to track the Bodak.
Right. Yeah, and maybe by the end of the chapter they do have a way to track the Bodak or something. Maybe it's all... And kill it. I think maybe Lee has figured it out.
I think killing it's going to be trial and error, but they'll have some ideas.
But I don't think it matters at this point. It may be fairly useless at this point. The witches are the big problem now.
Right. Well, the witches aren't just the big problem. I mean, they're still dealing with Raina.
Right.
Or Annalise.
Yeah, but at this point, the witches are on the loose. We already
Right,
planned for the Bodak to
the
be largely
focus.
ineffectual.
Right.
So they might come across the Bodak trying something, but I think it's injured from what its encounter with the witches, so it's going to be easy to take down.
Okay.
So, like I said, unless you want to end the chapter with Annalise and the Bodak showing up here, to witness what's going on with the witches,
I don't think there's any reason that Annalise can't be there. I mean, in a swarm of protesters and witches and everything, I don't think that anybody would even notice that if she is there or isn't. It doesn't matter. I think that the big thing that we need to accomplish here is the sorcerers being exposed
Sure.
and their entire community turning against them.
Right. Okay.
So
I dig it. Anything else?
I don't think so. If you're good with that, I can
Yeah.
put something together.
Okay. Don't forget to check us out at r/Dark and Stormy Nights on Reddit. At the Dark Stormy K1 on Twitter. We have the Dark and Stormy Nights Facebook group, and you can find our podcast almost anywhere podcasts are found, including on YouTube. So go check us out. Like, subscribe, share, comment, tell a friend, tell your mom. We'll see you next time.
Bye.